Hello and welcome everybody to the MTG Paper Legacy Saturday Challenge Finals. I am your host today, Pres BOTW, joined here by Chaotic Bear. How's it going today?
Hello, everyone. It's going great.
Chaotic?
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it should definitely be a good time.
Oh, sorry. I thought you couldn't hear me there for a second.
No, I
Double
can
check
hear
on the
you.
audio.
We're all good.
Sweet. Yeah, so we have Infect here on the left and Merfolk on the right. It looks like Tensei already knew what he was up against because he cut his life total set on 10 there, which is funny.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite for this match? I know that both decks have some powerful starts.
I'm not entirely sure because they're both kind of ignore combos in a sense. Where, because we should just clarify that. So this is not a traditional Merfolk list that Tensai is on by virtue of whatever you'd expect out of Standard or Modern or something like that. His Merfolk deck is a combo deck. So it does have good Merfolk cards. Like it's got the Master of the Pearl Trident, Lord of Atlantis. It has the Lords in it, as well as being backed up by the extremely powerful True Name Nemesis. However, it is also running Paradigm Shift and also Thassa's Oracle to just steal a game out of nowhere.
Exactly, and we saw that on a stream. Was it Tuesday this week where he got to do that one of the games?
I believe so. I unfortunately had to work late on Tuesday, so I didn't see that particular match. But yeah, I do remember hearing that they managed to pull that off. Oh, it was against Charble, yeah.
All right, that's cute. Yeah, that'll be exciting to see if that happens again. Of course, there's always just the option of dealing 20 to your opponent.
Yeah, for sure. And then I think that's kind of like the Paradigm Shift deck has two main variants. They have the Wizard version, and they have the Merfolk version. And the Wizard version is specialized around Riptide Laboratory, around Baron, Master Wizard, and Watcher for Tomorrow, which is really good.
Yeah. And if anyone watching isn't familiar with any of the cards or the lists that Prez is talking about, we do have the Cardboard Live set up so you can see the player's deck list if you just hover over either side of the window there. I don't think it works on mobile. I don't remember, actually.
I don't believe it does.
But players are getting started here. It looks like turn 1 Fetch Trop Glistener Elf on the left. You got to be pretty happy if you're Oliver, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And that's the other thing, too, is that these are both Force of Will combo decks. At the same time, though, and this is the thing about Legacy Infect in particular, is Oliver's threatening lethal right now. Or potentially threatening lethal. Which is very, very quick. However, I think that if Tensai can manage to just control the board a little bit, especially landing something like a True Name Nemesis, it's potentially really rough. But I do know in Oliver's case, Oliver was worried about potentially playing against Death and Taxes here, which is a much more controlling game. So looks like we're on a slow start here from Oliver, but then again, this could also potentially be a blowout because Invigorate and Berserk are very cheap cards to cast.
Oh yeah, Scale Up Invigorate also works. I mean, I've played a little bit of Infect in Modern and a little bit in Legacy, and just you're right. There's some starts where you just have to like chip in for one every turn. With a Blighted Agent or something. And then there's the games like this where you just get them on turn 2. So.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, too, is I really like Legacy Infect over Modern Infect, because in Modern Infect, you live and die by your pump spells.
Yeah.
Whereas in Legacy Infect, I have lost many games to literally be just attack with an Exalted Trigger, attack with an Exalted Trigger. Okay, you couldn't interact with my land card. Cool. You're dead.
Yeah.
So just does that and then controls all the other spells that go on. So it just works out very well. So you see here, it looks like we have Glistener Elf just crunching in for 1. So that's 1 poison. And then, which is, off to a pretty good start already.
Yep.
And then we're going to get the Lord of Atlantis here right away. So of note, that Cavern of Souls means that this can't be countered either.
Yeah.
So
very fair start from Tensei here.
Yeah.
And you'll notice Tensei not even keeping track of his life total on his phone there. We are going to keep track just because it can matter. But we also have an Infect counter there right above his life total in the middle.
Yeah. Of note as well, with Tensai being on mono blue, I do not believe there are any fetch lands in Tensai's list, but I could be wrong. Yeah, there are none.
Yeah, I think
there's one copy of Fiery Islet. That's the Force of Wills, and the one Fiery Islet are the only cards that can lose Tensai life.
Yeah. But in case we end up in the sick Noble Hierarch beats scenario, it is nice to
Yes.
know.
The amount of times I've seen people try to do a massive Noble Hierarch attack followed by a whole pile of pump spells involving Invigorate and then Berserk to kill someone in one turn, and then forgetting that casting Invigorate for free gains them 3 life, and then their math is off by 1 or 2. Oof. Oh man, it's so fun.
Oof.
Like, I'm going to pump, and then hit you for 21 with this Noble Hierarch. Cool. I'm at 26 because of the Invigorates. Oh.
Dang it. Yeah. I haven't seen that happen, but that sounds like an easy mistake to make for sure.
Yeah.
So, getting an ink moth.
So he fetched, fetched up the tropical island. Now there's an ink moth, and then we're going to go into a blighted agent. So there's 3 infectors on Oliver's side.
Yeah. So that was after the ponder. It looks like he just wanted the 1 card, and he fetched during upkeep to clear the other 2 cards off. There's another big difference between Modern and Legacy. The card selection in Legacy is just so much better.
Exactly.
So still with 4 in hand, though, there could be any number of explosive cards there. It could also just be, 2 dazes or something.
Yeah. So this is kind of alarming in a sense, because you got to wonder if Tensai's hand is either bad or just really heavy on interaction.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised to not see the Lord just swing in there, because you can't block either of the Infect. I guess you can block Listener Elf.
You can block. The thing is, as well, is that Tensai's Lord of Atlantis doesn't have Island Walk if it's the only Lord.
That's true. It is other. You're right. Although even with its original printing, I guess didn't even give other Lords of Atlantis, since they were lords. I don't remember.
Yeah, not Merfolk. Yeah, errata.
Right, the great creature change there.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's another thing as well, is I imagine Tensai has a permission heavy hand, because as far as creatures go, Tensai's curve tops at 3 with True Nemesis.
Yeah, which is a nice card to have.
Oh, actually, and also Hull Breacher and Glasspool Mimic. Forgot about those.
Yeah, I didn't notice the Glasspool Mimics in there. I have to go reread that card. Actually, I pulled it up, but we also have a fancy thing here.
Card Fetcher.
Yeah, Card Fetcher. Glasspool Mimic. Everyone can hear me typing real loud. Got that nice mechanical keyboard right up against the mic for y'all.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're gonna have a huge attack here.
Yeah.
So this Ink Moth is a 6/4 because of scale up, and then we also have the Blighted Agent crunching in. So this is gonna be a hit for 7. So Tensai's gonna go up to 8 poison right here.
Looks like he's tapping 3 mana response. This could be the card from Eldraine that bounces. Is that in the deck?
Oh, it's just a Hull Breacher on end step.
Just Hull Breacher. Oh, okay, so he actually took all of the Infect then. So he is up to 8 Infect, which makes several lethal combinations next turn. He has got to be worried about that.
Tensai basically is going to need to go land, Paradigm Shift, Thassa's Oracle right now, and doesn't have it. I guess he just scoops it up.
No, just straight picking it up there. So that is 1-0 now. Let's get that graphic up as well for Oliver. Reset those life totals as well. So do you think? Does Tensai have a lot in his sideboard for Infect here? Do you think?
So in Tensai's sideboard, there's 2 copies of Dismember, 2 Pithing Needle, 2 Surgical Extraction, 2 Tormod Script, 2 Force of Negation, 1 Umezawa's Jitte, 1 Fairy Macabre, 1 Thieving Skydiver, 1 Submerge, and 1 Grafdigger's Cage. I really like Submerge here. I also really like Umezawa's Jitte, or Jit, or however it works. It'd be nice for someone at Wizards to clarify exactly how that goes. But anyway, yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. And that's the thing too, is that Tensai switches up his deck a lot, and you're not necessarily sure every time. So it's not like there's known quantities going around. So if I was in Oliver's seat, I wouldn't really know what exactly to expect there.
Yeah, exactly. I don't actually mind the Dismembers in there either, as a way to get rid of the threats.
Especially because with the poison, your life total is largely irrelevant.
Yeah, exactly. Although we'll see here. There's not. I mean, I think things like Hull Breacher could probably come out if you're worried about the fast combo on the other side. But we didn't see any of the cards from Tensei that game that would have helped with the tempo advantage. Things like Chalice of the Void or Aether Vial.
Yeah, exactly.
So Oliver has Bojuka Bug, Crop Rotation, a Grafdigger's Cage, Hydroblast, one Surgical, three Swords, two Veil of Summer, one Absolute Law, one Rest in Peace, one Viridian Corruptor, and two Force of Vigor. What do you like out of Oliver's sideboard?
So knowing or not knowing what exactly Tensai's on, because that start could have been just regular Merfolk without Paradigm Shift.
Mm-hmm.
I guess even then you kind of expect Chalice out of Merfolk these days, so I'd probably grab some Force of Vigors or Veil of Summer. Right? Well, actually no, because Veil of Summer gets countered by Chalice.
Yeah.
Absolute Law is the wrong matchup here. Crop Rotation could potentially be good, but at the same time, I don't think it's worth the sideboard slot there. Grafdigger's Cage, Hydroblast. You do not want to Rest in Peace against this deck, actually, because the way Paradigm Shift works is that your graveyard becomes your library. So if Rest in Peace is in play, as soon as you cast Paradigm Shift, they are empty library, and if they have the Fastest Oracle, they can just go immediately.
Yeah, and I think other than Force of Vigor, there might not be anything to bring in here. Your main deck is just good, and you're faster than them. I'm not super worried about Swords to Plowshares, but we'll see if we see any of those sideboard cards in game 2 here for Oliver.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I would be tempted to just run back the same 60, honestly. Not a lot of... I've seen Teferi, 3-mana Teferi in these Infect lists as well as a reason to run white, but it looks like Oliver is on 0 copies of that. Just Absolute Law, Rest in Peace, and Swords as the only white cards in the 75.
Yeah, same thing as well. No Okos either. And I kind of agree with Oliver and talking with him about it, is that it's just, at the end of the day, you're still a combo deck. And I know that those cards either give you an alternate win con or protect your combo, but at the same time, they don't kill the opponent faster.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know in Oliver's case, he's valuing the turbo speed more than the resiliency.
Yeah. I have played with 3 Fairy in my Legacy Infect list, and I do really like it to turn off opposing counter spells and opposing removal, but at the same time, that could just be another creature, and I think that you'd be equally as well off.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree behind that as well. And at the same time, I'm not ever going to tell Oliver what's right or wrong when it comes to Infect.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's in the finals, and I'm here commentating, so...
Yeah.
Probably, he's probably done okay for himself today if he's 4-0 here.
Yeah, exactly. Oh. So it was a nice clean cut today too, which was very convenient because that seldom happens.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. 4 people live going into the last round.
Yeah, or going into the second last round.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah,
but of course, neither player here is a stranger to the stream.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone, all these, both Tensai and Oliver both play on our Legacy Fight Night events regularly, and they've also been in the finals numerous times. Tensai. Here we go.
Much
Aether Vial. Much better start indeed, yeah, much faster.
Hopefully we'll, seeing Tensai with actual 0 plays on turn 3 last game, I mean, I guess we did see the Flash and Hull Breacher there, but just a little surprising to not see any of the actual engine going.
Yeah, for sure.
Gonna go down to 19 here.
Fetching up the Trop, and we're on the Noble. So, yeah, so this is definitely a lot slower start from Oliver. At the same time, though, he's also got a lot more mana. Mm-hmm. So you never know. We could end up finishing about the same time, potentially even faster than last game, even though the start's slower.
Yeah. But look in the chat, do I get any invitational points for having the fastest game 5 loss? Unfortunately, no.
Round 5 loss.
We don't have a bonus system for that, but that would be a little bit of a perverse incentive, I think.
Yeah.
But hey, you got to come watch it.
I'll keep my 7. Concede. Sorry, what was that? I cut you off there.
Oh no, I was just saying. Means you get to come watch the stream. So
exactly. It's always a good time here.
There's that mana you're talking about for just a brainstorm.
Yeah.
I don't think that it sort of does take a. It means you have one more turn before you can threaten lethal, but I don't think Modern or Legacy, in fact, either one really minds having turn one Noble Hierarch there.
Noble Hierarchy. The mana advantage is very, very good.
Yeah, especially since you're relying on things like Inkmoth Nexus and Pendlehaven. The mana in Infect, even though everything costs 1 or 2 mana, is very tight.
Yeah, oh, definitely, for sure. So Bollig there is actually an Oops All Spells deck in Legacy, and it's been back with a vengeance lately. So.
Oh yeah, those modal double-faced cards really bring some life into that. All right. So another fetch land there. Not a whole lot of life total changes.
No. On that note as well, though, that is a good brainstorm there where you're able to shuffle away immediately. And then we're going to get 2. So I imagine this is going to be a Blighted Agent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the pressure is on now. However, Tensai also has a lot of cards they can use. So, oh, wow. So we're just going to go for a Dismember right now. And with mana up as well, Tensai can pay for days here.
Yeah. So going down to 16 to cast it. Like we said, not a lot going on. SR Fitcher in chat, how do you know if no one is ghosting? A little bit of honor system, but also it's not going to... both of the players see each other's boards. They see the same thing we're seeing now.
Yeah.
And so there's not really any information to be gained other than maybe the commentators, but they know everything that we know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, by virtue of ghosting, the biggest thing you lose when someone ghosts you is hand information. But as you can see, everyone's hand is face down. We don't even know what's in their hand.
Yeah.
So because of that, you can't even really ghost, because we would, by virtue, be ghosting right now, and it doesn't help.
Oh, no worries. No, that's a question we've gotten before for sure.
Yeah.
So
Oof. Oof. This is fast. So we're getting a paradigm shift right now. So if Oliver's going to counter anything, you do it right this minute. So this is going to be interesting. So what's going to happen here is paradigm shift, if this resolves, is Tensai is going to search his library for, I believe it's, exile all cards from your library. Then shuffle your graveyard into your library. So what this is going to do is it's going to exile Tensai's entire library. Then the Dismember will become the only card in his library, or should be at least. And then what's going to happen is, so you see Tensai going through the library here. And the reason for that is exile is a face-up public zone, for those who didn't know. But anyway, what he's going to do here is his Aether Vial's on 2. So we're going to see a Thassa's Oracle this turn or next turn.
Yeah, and that Dismember in the graveyard providing some fuel to keep it around, which is extra funny. It would be sort of feel bad to have Paradigm Shift in your hand, but no...
yeah. So this Thassa's Oracle is lethal right now. Yeah. So even with exactly 2 cards, what it does is, and this is more my irk with Thassa's Oracle than anything else, is if it's less than or equal to, you win the game. If Thassa's Oracle was exactly less than and you won, I think I'd be more okay with it. Because then it would be a thing of, I have no cards left in my library. Thassa's Oracle, cool. Kill it, Devotion to Blue is 0. You don't win the game. I think that's a lot more balanced. Yeah,
the fact that you still win, even if they blow up the Thassa's Oracle, is, I think, maybe not a design mistake for things like Standard or Pioneer or whatever, but in formats like EDH and Legacy where, disruption is already at a premium, everything is already so tight, everything is already so tuned and focused, it feels like it makes it trivial in these older formats.
Yeah, I agree. And Walrus Runner, this is Legacy Inverter is exactly what Tensai is playing, yes.
Yeah. I was thinking, people pay 4 mana for Jace Ultimates, and they have to wait several turns for it. Apparently you could just been doing it this way the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's hand, not... Never mind.
No. Well, almost the problem is that this deck technically has existed ever since the printing of Laboratory Maniac. But the problem is the winning instantly part. And that's the thing about Thassa's Oracle, is that you win without having to draw a card. Because the issue with Laboratory Maniac is if you draw a card and then they kill the Lab Maniac before you draw the card, then you lose the game immediately instead of winning. Whereas that Thassa's Oracle either wins you the game immediately or you still get to untap at least before you die.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Leadman, you could Ether Violet in during your upkeep, I guess, but if they have a Swords or a Bolt or literally any removal spell anyone plays in Legacy, then it's just, it's
Yeah,
just a free roll there.
yeah. Hello, Dark Force. Sorry, I missed that before there. Yeah, so this is going to be good there. As far as sideboards go, I really don't think I'd change anything.
Yeah, I mean, the only sideboard card we've seen so far is Dismember from Tensei. I wasn't paying the closest attention to his sideboard actually when he was, or to his deck when he was revealing it for the Exile.
Yeah,
I saw enough to see a revised Lord of Atlantis and a 4th edition Lord of Atlantis, but I sort of stopped paying attention after that.
the mismatch trigger.
Yeah.
So Oliver on the play game 3. We're going to start off here with a Glistener Elf. So all guns blazing right off the bat.
Yep. And like you said, you just have to respect the turn 2. I mean, there's several combinations of spells that you can play on turn 2 to just win in Legacy, since you have access to Berserk and everything else. It's not just scale up like it is in Modern.
Yeah. That being said, though, at the same time, there are a lot of decks that are capable of a turn 2, but in general, Legacy is actually a much slower format than people think it is.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, the decks that have removal, I think, keep Infect in check to some extent.
Yeah, I agree. And I think in this case, Infect is probably a little bit more favored, I would say, just because that it takes advantage of combat, which is an integral part of how Magic works, and because of that, the combo can get started so early with Infect, whereas that in Tensai's case, it's a very specific sequence of cards that needs to happen.
Yeah, you can't just play a spell. Oliver can just win the game by casting 3 spells, and I think Tensei can as well, but then you're not doing anything until, turn 2, 3.
Yeah.
For as far as the setup goes. We saw last game. I mean, last game was just textbook. Turn 3, you have an Ether Vial and 2 counters, and you have the Paradigm Shift on 2 mana, and you just get to double spell and win.
Yeah.
But, apologies. That last game was pretty quick, and I have not updated live totals, but I will do that right now, because Tensei is not at 16.
How dare you?
I know.
How dare you?
I think there have been a grand total of about 7 total life changes this whole match, but...
Yeah. So. Yeah, very few.
So there's a Glistener Elf trigger.
With Exalted. Yep. So this is going to be in for 2 minimum. And it looks like that's all it's going to be.
Yep. I mean, you're 20% of the way there.
Yeah. Easy Tensai just immediately lowering his life total to 8.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you mentioned, there are a couple corner cases where it will actually matter, but I bet we don't see that this whole match.
Yeah. Silvergale Adept actually paying mana for it. Interesting.
Yep. Gonna see another one in the hand.
Another silver. Yeah. Second Silvergale.
So
draw a card.
If this were a fair matchup, that would be great for Tensei. Just get a body, do it again next turn, draw another card. But
well, that being said, the Silvergale can still potentially block the Glistener Elf.
That is fair. Yeah, and Oliver would need a pump spell to save it, since the Silvergale Adept, I believe, it's a 2/1, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say it's a 3/2, and then I'm like, wait, no. There's no lords in play. I'm always used to seeing it come down at the same time as a lord, so yeah. Or maybe it's just always been on the receiving end of the 3/2 attacker. Now that being said, though, with this Inkmoth Nexus here, that's rough.
Yeah. That is is there a single flying blocker in all of? I don't think there's anything that blocks flying in Tensei's whole list.
I do not believe so.
Yeah.
Crop Rot.
Huh. I guess that could be going for Pendlehaven here.
It could be.
Or Inkmoth. Oh, there's a Force of Will actually on the crop location.
I actually like forcing here. Because if I was in Oliver's shoes, and again, I don't know what Oliver's hand looks like or Tensai's hand looks like, but if I was in Oliver's shoes, I would probably be wanting to get, just because I did see the Dismember, or we did see the Dismember last game, I'd be tempted to just go get a second Inkmoth Nexus there.
Yeah, that's definitely a good play as well, since the Glistener Elf got eaten here by the Silvergale Adept. I mean, the crop rotation into Pendlehaven would have saved the elf, but I think you're right that Inkmoth number 2 is just such a good play there. We're seeing a Silvergill Adept draw a card. Lord of Atlantis is the reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Force of Fill there commenting, yeah, getting to trade your random 2-1 that you've already drawn a card off of for your opponent's, second best threat just feels very good.
I agree. Thanks for joining us today, Phil.
Oh, little crown in the chat there.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I think the Pendlehaven line does make a lot of sense from the perspective of then you can profitably attack, but at the same time, I think just having the 2 flyers could be really good.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's definitely the more resilient option.
Okay.
That gives you the choice of either having a backup Nexus or saving your Glistener Elf, and I think I just like Nexus against a non-Wasteland deck.
Yeah.
So there's the Invigorate. So since we'll go to 23 life. Sorry, 22 life. It's gained 3 life.
Oh, and we are getting the Berserk there.
So does that
resolve?
Is that
just it?
Yep.
Yeah, it does. Wow, that was fast.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that went about as well as it could have for Oliver. They're just having
other way around there on the games.
Thank you. I was going to put champion up there. My brain has bandwidth for one thing at one time.
Oh yeah, that was a really good showing by Oliver there. Infect, just doing Infect things, being able to kind of show, and again, it plays kind of similarly to Delver in a sense, where it's basically play 1 threat and then just kind of ride it the way. In Delver's case, they're more of a tempo thing with mana denial and permission spells, whereas Infect is trying to basically blow you right out with a absolutely massive creature.
Yeah. Definitely the same kind of like protect the queen kind of thing going on there, where you can just play 1 creature on turn 1 and then win on turn 4 or 5 pretty easily with that same creature. We're going to see some of the so Pithing Needles, Dismember, Submerge coming in out of Tensei there. Pithing Needle.
One of the things I didn't think about Pithing Needle is Pithing Needle turns off Inkmoth Nexus.
Yeah, I think 0 other cards because it can't hit the Noble Hierarch. There aren't a lot of other things that have activated abilities.
Yeah.
Well, that's me and Prez. We're gonna sign off. Don't forget to check out our Discord. There's a link in the chat there. We do weekly Saturday events. We do weekly Tuesday night fight nights, monthly leagues, quarterly invitationals. It's all set up there on our channel.
Yeah, it's definitely a good time. Would definitely advise coming and hanging out.
Yeah. So we will see y'all on stream coming up here on Tuesday, and then we'll be back in a week.
Which is going to be our league finals, by the way, on Tuesday.
Right.
So that'll be the final league for the December league. So that'll be our last league finals of 2020. But it'll definitely be a good time. So I recommend coming and checking that out. It's going to be pretty impressive, some of the decks that we have in there. So
exactly, yeah. Those players that worked all month to get on stream, and here we are.
Yep.
So. All right. Well, we will see y'all on Tuesday with the league finals. Everyone have a good week.
You as well. Have a good one. Thank you.